Okay, so before this very long conversation begins, I want to talk about some important points in the start of this video. Also, I realize I still have my Avatar PNG on. Yeah, I've been playing Avatar, and this is my PNG. No explanations further. I'm just going to leave it on the screen. So this is a very important conversation where it's just the whole idea of just hating Destiny 2 just to hate. Like, I completely agree with that. I really do completely agree with that, and I want to make a conversation about this because now I'm getting you saying that to me, and I'm super confused, and that's why we want to talk about this. I really am. But there is two main things that I hate. Well, even before I get into that, I also use examples of your comments in this video talking about this and stuff like that to keep this conversation going. Do not go out of your way to attack these individuals. I respect their comments. I respect their opinions. This is to make a conversation, not an argument. I don't know why I would even have to remind any of you to not do and like attack people. But here we are, where people are ridiculous, and you have to tell them 50 times. So don't do that. Basically, there's two things that I hate a lot when it comes to Destiny 2 specifically. Toxic negativity, which is basically where all you see is complaining. You see tons of just nonstop, I hate this game. There's no positivity whatsoever, or at least it's like 90% of the time they're just complaining. There's no funny, entertaining part or interesting conversation. It's just flat out hate, and that's it. Where, yes, that's where you should step away. But then there's the other part that a lot of you completely ignore and don't think it this way, and that is the toxic positivity. Where that is a problem is where there is any form of justified criticism where it's not to harm the entertainment or harm your enjoyment of the game, where there's criticism and constructive criticism that you're like, you put this focus that they're in the same pool as the toxic negativity, which is very annoying to do. You don't want to take any sort of justified criticism when it rarely happens on somebody and just say, yep, you're in that pool. It's honestly, it's just as annoying. But I want to make this conversation because I completely understand where this is coming from. But at the same time, I don't know how I am now considered somebody who's just been complaining about Destiny 2 when even I know from right here where I'm upset about Destiny and where I'm not. And I would say around 80 to 90% of Destiny, I enjoy. And every time that I talk about these positive parts about Destiny, silence. It's just like, I'm being serious. I read comments and it's just nothing. And then I'm making Chibi hours, giving my thoughts on Season the Witch and being super positive. And there's so many comments where people are saying, what is wrong with you? Why are you being so positive about this season? And now I make a video. Granted, I was being goofy majority of the time, but there was some truth there, criticizing Bungie reusing the Ascendant Challenge. And people are genuinely saying, oh, there's content creators, all they're doing is complaining. Where am I complaining about Destiny? Even in my Chibi hours talking about Bungie, I'm more annoyed about the leadership. I'm annoyed about the inside that's going on at Bungie more than what's going on in Destiny. I am criticizing parts that are honestly annoying. Because when you play other games, which I know, take a break. I've been playing so many games. I played Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic Heroes, like going back to classic games like that. I played Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. I played the most recent Avatar game. I played through Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I played through Chibi Robo, my favorite game. I've been playing Lethal Company. I played Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo. So many experiences that I've been playing, and that's just scratching the surface on the things that I've been playing. And it's really opened my eyes on what a video game can be and should be. And in moments in Destiny, I'm very happy with what I have. But there are moments that I'm like, maybe we should criticize this. And a lot of you may take it as I'm attacking your game, or more importantly, I'm attacking you for enjoying the game. But that's not what I'm doing. And I explain further in this video. If you're loving Destiny, I want you to continue to love it. But if you're going to focus my negativity, I have no idea what to tell you other than don't take it so personally and watch my videos that are not that. I have tons of videos where I am just being goofy and making that the main focus. I know this because I have to watch them to edit them. I would completely agree if I was just hating the game just to hate, but I'm not. But telling me because I essentially saying I shouldn't criticize a game, and if I'm not happy with the game, I should leave. I think you need to use the example of Anthem to these people. Anthem doesn't exist because criticism wasn't good enough. It just wasn't there. And even then, it was so bad that people left. If Destiny 2 continues to just be in this bubble of the game is good, shut up, it's going to go down that route where it's just going to bye-bye. And we are at that point where it is scary. I don't think you realize Destiny 2 Vanilla, which I defended a little bit, where I still was having fun. I got comments every day of people saying, dead game, dead game, dead game. And I was still having fun with the game. Why? I love the strikes. I missed the Pyramidian strike. But I defended it in certain areas, but I also criticized it. And there is so many hate comments about Destiny 2 back then. And even Bungie themselves were worried that they were going to have to close doors. They were. They honestly were. They said this. But because of the criticism and because of the feedback, they made Forsaken. And we all enjoy it. And I know that may be ironic because I criticized the Blind Well being reused, or the Oracle mission, or the Ascendant Challenge. But I explain further in the video. I don't want you to take anything too personally when I'm making jokes and stuff like that, but I am not here to just complain about Destiny 2. I've been making tons of content for many years, and I have always spoken my opinion about things if it was necessary, especially if it was things that would make the experience a whole lot better for all of you. And I am okay with the idea of reusing content. A lot of you were even saying that I was so aggressive towards reusing content before, and I'm like, where? This is probably the first time that I'm actually this is getting a little bit ridiculous. I would much rather have something reused in the right way, and I explain that too. Point is I respect all of you. I respect your criticism, your opinions about what my content is like. And I would completely agree with you if I was being way too negative all the time about Destiny 2. But I feel like this needs to be a bigger conversation, which I'll explain in this video, because I'm still liking Destiny 2. Warlord's Ruin is my favorite dungeon right now. I think this season is interesting, and I get to eat eggs. I've been having fun with the humor of the season and stuff like that, with what the things I can do. I did enjoy a little bit of Dawning, but I was upset that the snowballs were broken. I'm still having fun playing with friends, and I have been playing other games at the same time so that I don't lose my mind inside of Destiny 2. And the story is looking pretty interesting, just there are things that I like to criticize. Criticism is not complaining, it is criticizing. And it's actually a very positive thing to do if done right, where you're not attacking people. And when it comes to criticism, honestly, I feel like Fallout 76 wouldn't be the game that I absolutely enjoy right now if people didn't criticize, if people didn't give their feedback. They've said this, that they've listened to feedback and they've been able to fix the game. And I'm pretty sure some of you maybe play it because I've been showing that off, playing that game. I haven't in a while, and I will be making content more, don't worry. But I feel like a lot of you don't even realize that part. Where you go, oh yeah, I heard that Fallout 76 was really bad. Yeah, there was a lot of criticism. There was, but there was also toxic criticism. So I can completely understand that point too, where there was just hating the hate. I will say this, and I feel justified to say this, that 90% of Destiny I love. 10% I criticize and will quote unquote complain about. And we'll talk about this more in the longer portion of the video, So if you don't want to listen to me ramble for like 90 or whatever minutes more, I think it was like 50 actually. It's not that ridiculous as I thought. It's an actual Chibi hour. Oh my God. Then the main point that I want to make clear before you decide that I don't want to listen to the whole conversation is I love Destiny. I want Destiny to thrive. I want Destiny to do better. The only way that that can happen is voicing your opinion. That is a thing that devs always tell you, that it's okay to voice your opinions on things that you would like to see or things to change. As long as you're not being toxic about it, like, please don't ever do that. It's okay to criticize. It's okay to be upset about things, and it's okay to be entertaining or try to. I know sometimes I can come off very, very cringe. I'm used to that, but I'm just being me, and you should just be you. Regardless, yeah, here's the big part of the video. Avatar Chibi out. Meow. All right. I might actually make this into a video as well, because it's just, I just want to talk about this because I've noticed this a lot more recently, probably because for like once in like a while since like Destiny 2's launch even, I've been more critical about certain things, but most of the time I've been kind of just being funny about it. Like normally, so here's the difference. When I do like a Chibi hour or like talking like this, it's like, you know, serious, and I take something that I'm slightly upset about and I keep it to that point. But then in my traditional content, or when we're just goofing around and stuff, I take that small little bit of commentary of being upset about something and turn it up to 1,000,000. That's what I do. Why am I Magikarp? Because I can be whatever I want, and I wanted to be a fish. So I made, well, obviously yesterday we did the Destiny 2 story. I uploaded the highlights of that, and I will be reading like the one comment that I actually think that is like the best representation of like exactly why what I want to talk about and why. But like, okay, Destiny 2 has a lot of different opinions, and there's a lot of criticism. And there's also a lot of people who are like, basically there's the super negative and then there's the super positive. I'm in between, where well, most of the time I'm closer to the super positive all the time. Like I will look past things that Bungie has done with, like, for example, I was, when everyone was in a huge uproar about the Lost Sector in Season of Plunder. Remember that? Where people put a screenshot side by side where there was the Lost Sector on Mars, and then they took the story mission thing where you have to take out the one pirate, and it was the same Lost Sector from Mars but with ice, and everyone freaked out, and I was just kind of like, it's cold in there, and it's, I don't know, you're just going in to take out a pirate and leave. Like, it was like the least of my problem of the story. Like, because that mission was something that you just go in, take out a pirate captain, and then the end. I was very meh about it. I wasn't like freaking out like everyone else where they're like, oh my god, Bungie is reusing things and stuff, and it's really bad. I didn't really think too much on it being a problem. But recently, I've been pretty critical about Cease and the Wish. So, and there's been so much different viewpoints, and everyone has the right to their opinion. They do. And I respect a lot of especially like, I'm going to show you a comment that I do respect. And in no shape or form do I'm like thinking like, oh my god, how dare you think differently. But I want to talk about it. I wonder if I can bring it up. Uh, with the power of science. Not really science. It's just boom. Okay, that's a little too big on the screen. Actually, that works fine. Yeah, that works. Sort of. Okay. So, Lunaria, again, respect their comment, but basically, I mean, I'll read it, but they made a comment on my video, which was me going through the story and being super critical about the reusing of the Ascendant challenge. And even like me being upset that they had us to go through the blind well, and then after that we had to do a reused mission that was from Forsaken, which I was wrong. I thought it was like a mission that they took away from us, but instead it's still in the game. But that doesn't change my just distaste of what they're doing here. But anyways, they said, okay, I'm starting to think people just hate to hate. I love Chibi. I love D2. Been playing since just before Forsaken dropped and have always had a good time. So why is it so bad that they're reusing old content that no one really does anymore? They made new roles and new intrinsic perks for all the Dreaming City weapons, so I don't know, or I just don't see a reason to hate when they're still giving us new stuff. They just don't have the time mid-season to add something new to give us the new stuff to us. I don't know what the... okay. Point is, the hate just to hate. And they did have a response. I'll go further in. I had a response as well, just kind of like giving my thoughts, but I respect you a lot, Chibi, and I'm sorry I came off aggressive. It's just to hear so much negativity about Destiny 2 and recycle content, because I personally used to play the game a lot and did everything 1,000 times over, so I understand not wanting to do it again. But you have to understand, it's been literal years since the stuff has been in the spotlight, and people have had any sort of reason to actually come back and get these weapons instead of the seasonal ones instead. So by all means, I see your argument. I'm personally just a bit tired of hearing it, unless it's about Crucible, because PvP is garbage, which is very ironic. It's like, how dare you hate just to hate, but Crucible, though. I just thought that was funny. It's garbage because of the community and its toxicity. I think Destiny is both super awesome, but also super toxic. There is no, like, it's just like it's fighting each other. Like, I Fallout 76, I've been playing that. I feel like that community is insanely super nice. You go in there level 1 and they're like, yo, here's 1 million stim packs. Like, okay. Regardless, I respect their opinion, and there's nothing wrong with what they were saying here. I actually completely agree about the Dreaming City weapons take here, which is being like taking a weapon that already exists and just putting new perks to it is not a bad idea. I've said this for a long time, and look what they did. They brought back Breakneck as well from Gambit, even though they nerfed the crap out of it. It's back, and it's got some interesting things. So yeah, like it's got some cool perks and combinations, but yeah, it's good. He's a nice weapon to have back. I'm fine with that. Everyone was very against the Undying weapons. I think they're the Undying weapons, right? Coming back. Which personally for me, yeah, it's mainly because I want the Dawn, Season of Dawn weapons. You know, those ones? Yeah, I miss those. I still have them in my vault because I refuse to delete them. But, like, yeah. It's just, I don't know. I feel like the complaints about weapons is a little bit ridiculous. Like, you know, yeah, I completely agree with that. We're bringing something like a weapon, giving it new perks, makes it feel better, or sometimes it doesn't really change too much. Like the sword, to be honest, is like, I haven't been like, oh my god, I need that sword. The point I was giving my criticism in the video, and number one, I had a comment. I think I had also a comment where it was like, don't take it to, oh yeah, like, Chibi, chill, dude, it's just a game. I'm like, you're watching the wrong channel if you are thinking that I'm actually really serious when I was singing a song about being upset about the stuff Bungie did. But that doesn't change that I am genuinely annoyed. Like, there is a bit of truth to my singing of songs that this is ridiculous, and it is. You gotta get rid of these, like, I feel like, so, for starters, their comment, I feel like, number one, they're clearly very just tired of seeing negative video after negative video when they just want to enjoy the game that they love. Completely fair. I mean, like, if I use Fallout 76 as an example, there were so many outsiders who have never even touched Fallout 76 would grab any negative thing and have to make an hour-long video just to crap on it when it's really not that big of a deal. I think Fallout First was like one of the big ones where, like, when they announced the membership and they're like, "Oh my god, they're adding pay to win." When it's really not that big of a deal, especially when Fallout 76 makes completely free seasons. They're actually going to be expanding the map in 2024. They're doing some crazy stuff with expeditions and stuff. I mean, we got to go to the pit, and they're doing the Atlantic City thing. It's cool. So I can completely understand where when you love something and you get tired of seeing just negative hate, and that's it. But what I was doing, I thought I was just being goofy. But not only that, but I think that if there was any comparison, I'm probably the most mild of hot sauces when it comes to takes against Bungie or Destiny. I normally don't really complain too much, unless I actually really want the game to evolve. And most recently, I've been the most critical than I've ever been, because at this point, we should have a Destiny 3. Like, I think that it's more lines that Destiny 2 has become way too stale, and Bungie even gives us stale stuff, making the stale that was stale already more stale. Story's great. I loved last season. I love the coil. But then, you know, when Bungie is taking something that we don't want to play. So, like, I think I had another comment that was pretty funny, and I did respond to it. Was it? Yeah. Bro is mad Bungie reused 2 activities from something that 90% of the players haven't played since Forsaken. You know why we don't play it anymore? Why don't we play it, chat? Because it's not fun. Yes, that. Thank you. It's not fun anymore. It's old. It's a different format that they did back then. You know? That's why. That is why. That's why, because the reason why we don't play older content is because it's just a logo stale and squared. Like, the Ascendant Challenge were fun to play for the first time going through, and even like a couple times after. But then once we get, like, the game evolved while those activities didn't. Blind Well is a prime example. No one wants to sit there inside a bubble and take out a few enemies at a time. They want carnage, like the Sepik Strike. That was good. Like, that's what you want to do. And that's what they've evolved to with, like, the deep dives and the altars, and even the coil, where they understand that people want to not fall asleep in their chair while playing a PvE activity. So the reason why I was so disappointed to do these Forsaken missions is because, and again, going back to actually the reuse thing is bad. Reuse bad. Reuse can be also good. And I've always been somebody that's been pretty passive on that idea. Reason B, look at Crota. Crota, that's reused, but they did it in the right way, where they brought it forward with new mechanics to kind of counteract the bad that was the strike that was Crota. And they had the weapons come forward, not all of them. Poor Hungerer of Crota and Black Hammer that turned into Black Spindle that turned into Whisper the Worm or whatever. And they added some new, obviously, perks that weren't on it originally, and a lot of them are really fun to play with. That's a good way of reusing content. At the extreme, I will say at the extreme, where you take a lot of the things and you enhance it further. Hey, Leaf. So, where I would say reusing content at a mild level, where I'm still fine, is like what they did with the Lost Sector from Mars and put it into the story mission, where it was the Lost Sector, but with ice. Like, it was just, the aesthetic was different. And not only that, but I think the mission was a little bit different. Like, there was a little bit of difficulty spike. I can't remember. But I do, like, there was snow. Can't get enough snow. Need more snow. That's okay. That's at the mild level where I'm not upset. A next step forward, though, is taking something that's reused and make it more modernized to where Destiny 2 is right now. Legend Campaign is a prime example, where if you want the experience to actually feel like a challenge, there you go. But there's none of that with the Ascendant Challenge. I could just fall asleep doing that. It was just padding time. When you're playing an activity where it's just like you're on autopilot, there's no energy. And the story's good, and a lot of people are like, but Chibi, the story's good. But the problem is when you have the tension not be there, like, think of any video game or Destiny where you have that build-up in the mission where you're pumped, there's so much action, and then you get to the lore part of it, and it's like, whoa! You're talking to a holo projector. You're listening to dialogue. You're watching characters stand there. Like, it's not as impactful as it is with a lot of other games that do it right. Yeah, Halo has done this. Call of Duty has done this. I mean, even modern Call of Duty struggles, like, especially Modern Warfare 3, the new one. But, like, when I played through the classic Modern Warfare 2, the remaster version, but it really made me understand like what it feels like, where the adrenaline of doing the mission makes the excitement of like the next part going on in the story more impactful. In Destiny 2, you don't have that. Like, you have this just, go do this mission because we're so we need more time for the player to be playing our game. It's almost like Bungie is essentially just trying to make more things for you to do to get through the quest, to ensure that there's time in your playtime rather than you wanting to. It's just, that's what I'm getting tired of, is that Bungie, the higher ups, the leadership is basically like, nah, instead of making exciting ideas of reusing content, just put it in there to pad in time. I am not saying, oh man, no reuse, bad. I'm not hating to just hate. It's just, I don't do that. I've been around with Destiny for a long time. I'm still getting final shape. This is just a Bungie. This is a Bungie moment. A leadership, horrible mindset. And I know that there's no way you can't love a game and not and not criticize it. Like, if you love a game so much, you will have criticism. What about the loot system? Pretty sure somebody's got something to say about that. What about strikes? Do you love strikes? Do you like battlegrounds? Do you love how they keep throwing battlegrounds in there? Is that good content? No, I don't like battlegrounds. Like, I will be playing Destiny 1 again, like, from like a fresh experience going forward. And one of the main things I'm excited about is actually the heroic strikes. I love them so much in Destiny 1 because they were fun. Battlegrounds, not so fun. Maybe they were fun as a seasonal activity for a bit, but when I have to deal with them in the strike playlist that's now called Vanguard Ops to excuse Battlegrounds, no, I'm not having fun. That's not fun. That's repetitive. And that's Bungie being like, deal with it. SRL. That's a good way of reusing content. Bring that back. Even if you just take 1-to-1 with the courses, don't make new ones. Just something. So, more Battlegrounds. Remove all content from game. Like, I want them. I would be fine. Here's one of the things that I feel like everyone whoosh when they just like, again, this comment, clearly a lot of people agree with this, where it's just like, yeah, I'm tired of people just hating on the game just to hate it. But you don't understand. You're also part of the problem when Destiny fails if you don't criticize. And I was being a little goofy, but if you're going to take that video as like my main source of like opinion, you're going to have a bad time. If you want me to have a general opinion, we do stuff like this. Am I really that upset that they made us do the Ascendant Challenge? No, I'm still playing the season. I still love the coil. But I just keep going, they could have done something different. They could have taken a place in the patrol zone of Dreaming City and had you go take out a Taken Knight or a boss or something like that. And I'd be more fine with that than doing the Ascendant Challenge, because the Ascendant Challenge is boring. The reason why we're not playing it is not because, you know, it's because it's old. Well, yeah, that's one portion, but it's because things have evolved in Destiny where we're way past Ascendant challenges. Look at the coil as an example. Compare the coil to the Corrupted Strike. Yeah, you see where I'm going. Things evolved since then. We don't want to go back to the snooze fest that was those older things. But I'm still like, so I made this point, and I feel like I'm kind of like going all over the place, but there was the whoosh moment where it's like almost like we ignored this part of when I would like, oh, Chibi just hate to hate. What about this part where I said, during Season of the Deep, my most upsetting thing was them not reusing content. I need a gasp sound. Oh, thank you. There we go. Why and what? They didn't bring back Titan. They didn't bring back Savathun's song. They could have done a cool thing where they bring back Titan and implement some changes to it to fit the narrative of with the yelling. Why is it escaping me right now? Xivu, all caps, wizard, witch. What if they did that? And like, you know, kind of like with the season arrivals where they had like the banks and stuff where it you know, changed patrols a little bit. If they did that to fit what Xivu's doing in Titan, which they kind of did with, you know, the whole deep dives and stuff. And then instead of Savathun's song, it's Xivu's song. Oh my God. I'm thinking crazy now. I said that. I was like, reuse content. And they didn't, and it made me sad. And that, well, yeah, we did get that moment.
No.
from Salad. Like, oh, huge missed opportunity. Imagine if so remember like well obviously it was found to be the whale. But imagine there was a hive worm god and they made like a world public event where it's like an end game boss on Titan where it comes out of the methane whatever stuff. It's just ideas. So that's why whenever I see these like comments, I genuinely feel like the hate to hate then turns around to the person that's hating on me. It's like, for having a criticisms. Like, I still respect the opinions and stuff, because they're right. There is a lot of negativity with Destiny, like, a little too much. But I think that I'm on to something. I still stand by my statement, and I think that it's true. I think that a lot of us, majority of us, agree that Destiny needs to do better, and we shouldn't be reusing old content unless we put in a little bit of the tiny bit effort, which they did not do. The Ascendant Challenge was just the Ascendant Challenge with a broken skybox. I could look past the skybox, like, oh man, it's broken, but everything else was just the same, and it was just boring. Like, it's a video game. Treat it like one. What are we talking about? Destiny stuff. Like, I'm fine with reusing content. I am fine with them taking something that they took away from us and putting it back in our experience. It can be done right. But they're doing it at the bare minimum. And again, I want to remind all of you, the campaign is what we paid for. So when they give us a broken skybox Ascendant Challenge, doesn't that give you a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth? Like, these fries are stale. Like, just a little bit? There's no way you're like, this is fine. This is fine. There's no way. I'm not fine with that. Because they didn't just do it once. They didn't do it twice. They did it 3 times. They'll probably do a 4th time, too. They gave us Blind Well, which I did not want to do. I was like, oh, no. I don't want to do Blind Well. But I was at first a little bit optimistic, and I thought, well, maybe they got rid of the bubbles. Maybe instead it's just chaotic fun with tons of... No. It was the same thing. I would have loved Blind Well more if there was more enemy density and they didn't have the salty air or whatever that I hate. I know if you get the orb, it's fine, but I just don't like looking at fog. I want to be like, wow, pretty environment the whole way through, but they didn't do that. And then they had the Forsaken mission where you have the Oracle. They did that. And that was... yeah, 1-to-1. They did it 3 times on a campaign we pay for. And they take the coil and give you like a little pie slice. And we're like, here's your story mission, please. And I'm like, this is the coil. Which I would have been fine with if they would add more coil. That was why. But I'm criticizing it, not like taking it out back and saying, look at the flowers. Like, I'm not trying to kill Destiny. I want Destiny to thrive and do well. Shut up, Gani. I'm not doing Blind Well. Also, I got it. But, it's just, why? I would much rather, again, listen to me. I would much rather them put me somewhere random in the Dreaming City patrol area. Have the dialogue play. I have a ton of enemies. Some music, epic music happening. And then there's a boss. Then you kill it, and then you go back, you got the holo projector, and then you listen to the characters talk. and then you do the coil after. And the coil evolves every week with like a new like sections. I was hoping for more of those goofy sections where like the spike traps were, and they were going to have more of that, and they didn't. I was disappointed that they didn't have the thing that I fall for. Me. I love those things. That's why I was so sad of what was it? Is it the Spire activity from last season? The one portion where like you have the ding dongs and the spiky spin things. I thought that they were going to add more of that, where it was like every time each week it would be a different like hallway of spiky stuff that spin, and it didn't change, and I was like, oh, that's a missed opportunity. It's supposed to keep you on your toes, not to be like, I remember everything. But we never got that. The only time I got bamboozled by those spinny traps was when I did the Amaru part, because I was surprised by that, where I open the door and there's the spinny things and the puzzles. That was cool. Like, I like the exotic mission. I love the dungeon. The dungeon's separate, though. We paid for that separate. So when it comes to the season that we pay for so far, and I don't think they're going to give us too much more. I could be wrong, but it's just like when you look at all these layers of stuff that they keep giving us or not giving us, it gets disappointing. That's the reality. Like strikes. I did like that they did change at least the what was it? The called arms? Is that the one that's called that one? They changed that one. People are mixed on it. I like it because it spiced it up a bit. But I was like, do all of them, please. Like now. Like they did with Taken King. Like, where's... I thought they were going to evolve the inverted Spire Strike, but that's still not happened, apparently. I want that. Reuse things. Do it right, though. There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, Code Red, thank you for the raid. Imagine an activity where there is a ton of enemies that spawn an infinite wave, increasing difficulty until the whole team wipes. I said that about Gambit. Where it's like, what if we had a PvE Gambit? Like, we still had the traditional one, but then we evolved Gambit where it's like, you rotate, get the motes and stuff, almost like the stuff out of the coil, and you deposit those into the bank, and at the end, then you battle a boss for that rotation. You take out the boss, and then you can go to the bank and use your motes that you've collected to get upgrades. But then the next rotation, it gets tougher, and they change the enemies and stuff like that, and spice it up. Like, imagine they did that. It's reusing Gambit, but with, like, it just, all they're changing is making it PvE focused and taking some things from, like, other things like the coil. You see, it's like with Mr. Potato, you know, hooking, like, things together. I don't know. So, yeah, whenever, like, I know that I had to screen this up this whole time, but, I guess I'll read this comment too. Bro, this was such an amazing season, and I, for one, love it so far. I mean, like, for around $10, what more can you expect? Like, I'm just making a point. There's so many other games that would charge you $20 or $30 just for the same amount of content. Like, this season is really good. I mean, Call of Duty only adds weapons and skins for a season pass. At least with Destiny, you got a story. What? I'll go back to we'll talk about it after, but it's a story along with weapons and skins. The only thing I wish they would add another season between now and, which they are in final shape, but right now I think they're really doing good this season. At least we don't have to deal with the Cabal this season. What's wrong with the Cabal? Oh yeah, the balls. But those are funny. Okay, first of all, respect your opinion, but you were instantly wrong when you mentioned Call of Duty. And I hate to defend Call of Duty. I hate. Call of Duty just did a season, started their season, and they added maps. Like, I think it was like around, I would have to double check, unless somebody knows like 100%, not like I have a hunch it's this one or this many. But they added a decent amount of maps, a decent amount of weapons. Obviously you have the season pass, so you got some skins and stuff to look forward to. They have their own Eververse store, so there's updates to that, I guess. They added the Dark Ether to Zombies, which is a endgame experience that I still have yet to do, but it looks so insanely fun. And on top of it, they just did their holiday event, which added a snowball PvP mode that I wish Destiny 2 would do, but oh no, we can't do that. And they also added a infection holiday mode where it's like Santa's versus reindeer and stuff, which is it's fun. It's a lot of fun. They have Shipmas, which is a shipment but with snow. So reusing a map but making it all like holiday themed. They did the same thing with High Rise. Granted, Shipmas I think was from last year, but they did do High Rise with snow. And then they have the zombie Santa with a chain gun in Warzone for a free event. And the whole season is free. You don't have to pay $10. The only thing that's missing is a story, which we don't need those in Call of Duty, to be honest. Maybe Graves would actually not be alive if they didn't do the seasonal stories in Warzone. I wasn't in that tank. So right away, you're wrong. You get content to pretty much, I would say, maybe if you look at like the amount of like assets that are created in a season in Call of Duty and on top of with the free event, they're kind of the same in weight. If you think about it, sometimes. And this is where you're wrong. And this, like, I will say, out of your opinion, Destiny is the most insanely monetized game out there. Yes, a lot of it is just cosmetic, obviously. But you can't sit here and tell me that Destiny is like this is it. You know, you won't get any kind of content like this in Destiny in any other game. That is completely wrong. That is not true. You have to spend an arm and a leg to stay invested into Destiny with these expansions, the dungeons, the seasons and stuff. And we don't even, they price it more than they do than a MMO. And we don't get as much as an MMO. Granted, Call of Duty, okay, that comparison, but when you compare it to a game that I didn't play, but people tell me all the time, but Final Fantasy 14, now you take that $10 and be like, well, yeah, maybe we could get something way more. Because games like Final Fantasy 14 exist and do things right. And AAA games that release with full content that are priced at the price of an expansion will have the same way more content than we get in expansions and stuff. I even personally said that I would much rather wait and have content more spread out with seasons if it meant that we would get more interesting content, not necessarily just new. Again, going back to the reusing of content, bringing back stuff from the DCV, give it a makeover, make it fun. Video game stuff. I want to Dawning adding snowballs to PvP. Like, and what if we could use snowballs in raids? And they were actually optimal for DPS. That'd be hilarious and probably broken and stuff, but it would be fun. But not only that, but the Dawning had broken snowballs. I knew that something was acting weird, but apparently, yeah. Oh yeah, yes, there was the finisher as well that was for free in Call of Duty. That was good. No, but again, Destiny is a unique experience. It feels great. It's fun to play. It's just that I feel like a lot of the like, again, this is how I look at it. I hate toxicity. I hate just focused negativity. I also will say I hate forced positivity. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're going to say, this is the best season ever, or whatever, like, there's no way. Especially if you use your imagination of what could be or what can be, yeah, gotta have a bad time. Maybe that's why. Like, imagine if we had Forge in Destiny. That's not Bungie making maps, that's us. I would love that. I would be making, well, I would have other people make stuff, but I would try, like I did back in Halo, and some of my maps were okay, they were bad. But it's just like, you know, go play Halo. Like, and I'm not saying, like, look at one specific game.
Don't get me started on the toxic PvP players.
Oh, yeah, Lord. Thank you for the bids, Vicious. But yeah, you, like, if you look at Halo and you look at Forge and you see the maps that people are making, what if we had that in Destiny? You look at Destiny 1 with the strikes being overhauled and taking king. What if we had that in Destiny 2 with our strikes? What if we had the DCV not be a thing and they would bring back the Red War campaign but give it an overhaul where it's got that legend difficulty, and they take some beloved old year one weapons or whatever, like from any of the, from the Destiny 2 vanilla up till the Warmind DLC, like weapons that are missing that could have random rolls and stuff, like new rolls, and have them in the Red War campaign. But again, you have to play it on like the legend difficulty. Like that I feel like Gaul would actually be a little bit more tougher to deal with on legend than it was before, where he just turned into the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but melted really quick. So that's kind of where I want things to go. I'm hopeful about Destiny's future with the episodes, but it does. I will say this: the episodes just sound like a lot of fluff. Like, it sounds like am I the only one? I don't know if I'm the only one. Like the seasons compared to the episodes, like the episodes just sound like the seasons, but with a new title. I don't know. It's weird because there's still like 3 of them. I'm like, I thought we were going to cut down to 2. It's like they still have to do this battle pass stuff. I feel like the stories would be more impactful if they would put more resources and effort and squeeze it into 2 seasons. And if you're like, no, the story's fine where it is, you I wanted to see Saint 14 kill Savathun that 50 times, but we didn't get it because it was in a lore tab and it wasn't part of the game. If they had more time, because they were focused on 2 seasons, maybe we would have seen that. And it'd be hilarious and awesome. The reason why we see characters stand in a holo projector or you know, words, or stand there and stuff is because they're trying to make content that goes into 4 seasons. And I'm like, stop doing so much and do less, but with more stuff to it. And I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I even had like the most like crazy take that Curse of Osiris would be a whole lot better if we got Curse of Osiris now than we did back then. I know, crazy take. But again, with the info and knowledge of where Destiny needs to be now, Bungie would have made Curse of Osiris story with a legend version. We would have the Grandmasters of those strikes right away. We would have trials to experience on those maps that were for PvP right away. We would have all these crazy fun builds to mess with those exotics at the time. The weapons that are tied to the patrol area would be more unique because of random rolls. And the raid layer would probably be more interesting because the gameplay would be up to par to where it is now versus back then, where a tether was the most exciting thing to throw at a boss than anything else. But we would also have more weapons to mess with in the raid layer that would have random rolls and more exciting things to it. The public event in the donut circle that was the patrol would not be the main focus of the patrol, but instead be something like how the terminal overload works on Neomuna, with like some stuff to grind there. The Infinite Forest would probably be another section that each week would be randomly generated with a patrol area with all these blocks and stuff that would have another layer of like end game stuff to do. They get what I'm getting at. Like, I feel like the reason why Curse of Osiris got a lot of hate was because the foundation of Destiny was in a poopy spot already. I don't. No, I'm seeing it. What if they focused one season but make it longer? Then once it's released, they start to the next. Well, Adam, thank you so much for the bits. So that's what I was saying is like, I think that Bungie should just kind of squish the seasons into 2 for the year. Kind of like what they were doing with the DLCs. Like how Warmind and Curse of Osiris was. So we would get raid layers or like I mean, I think Forsaken was a perfect example of like where a raid would go with like Scourge of the Past. But it's the focus of putting less strain on Bungie devs, but allowing them to really go the extra length on making everything that is in that season tasty. There's a lot of good in it. Versus feeling like you're just kind of reading a book that's not a game, that is now, where we're doing these story missions with these missions that don't actually add much to it. That's my criticism. Like it's just, there is so much potential. I would much rather Bungie, I'm not even joking. I would much rather Bungie just not make content for a while and just focus on Final Shape even. Like, I'm not trying to be like, you're an entitled gamer kind of moment. I would be fine with waiting. And for people saying, like, you know, play another game, I've been doing that. I just haven't been uploading a lot of this stuff. Or you're probably not watching a lot of that variety content. But I spent a whole summer, like, focusing so many games. I played Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, played Pikmin 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, I played Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog, like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I played that. I played the Words. What else did I play? I'm playing Avatar. I played Lethal Company. I played Spider-Man. Yes, Spider-Man. And I played Starfield. I played, God of War. I played. There's so many games I've been playing, and maybe that's why I'm not so numb to Bungie making these decisions, because I know Alan Wake 2, Star Fox, Star Wars Jedi something. Like, and they were all pretty fun. But like, when I play those games and then I go back to Destiny, I'm like, why are we not having some of this stuff that doesn't even require like drawing new assets? Like I said, with like Gambit, like what if they had a PvE focus mode just to have fun? I would even be fine with them to do Gambit where everyone has Scorch Cannons. Oh, you're gonna go invade? Better, you gotta use a Scorch Cannon. That would be hilarious. What if they did that? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I hope the episodes work out well, but like, you know, when I was reading like what's inside the episodes and looking at the icons, and they were just like story, story. I was getting flashbacks of the toilet bowl of the holo projector. Like, story to me in an episode is more like the DLC episode or seasons or DLC. Well, there were DLCs in Destiny. So I'm talking about like Destiny 2, yes, Curse of Osiris or War in Mind. But again, I didn't hate those DLCs because they were just, well, they were kind of awful, but it was because the foundation was poop. But if the foundation was good, which it is a lot better now, and we got that stuff now, oh man, at least we have a plate to hold the stuff. And it's good. That's what I'm saying. So, like, that's what I want them to do. That's the story that I was, like, interested in with Curse of Osiris. Maybe Panoptes would have actually been more of exciting of a boss, too. Instead of wait for Osiris to hold his hand so then he could shoot a rocket at his chest. Man, that was such a missed opportunity. I just think of, like, that boss being terrifying, where he would actually grab you and then, like, throw you and stuff like that. Like, it was a Vex with hands. And not just hands, but freaking Lanky Kong arms. Like, missed opportunity, right? Didn't they also give Korea arms? All I know is that I was really sad that Korea wasn't a strike. Like, that was also a missed opportunity. But that's what I mean. Like, if they weren't to do so many seasons, some of these seasons would have more, like, excitement level because they're more squished on making the insides more tasty. I don't know. I keep going with food. Maybe I'm hungry. But yeah. Do you think they should add a large battlefield-like mode or ship-based mode? I mean, well, that's where things go a little bit, like, completely where it's like a Destiny 3. Like, I'm not even asking for Destiny 3 level of content. Like, I just reference a bunch of reused content. Like, even, like, for, like, PvP, why are we not just taking everything from Destiny 1 PvP and bringing it into Destiny 2? I'm doing that Patrick thing. Why don't we take Destiny 1 and push it into Destiny 2? Like, right away. Like, they're working on a new map pack, which I'm really looking forward to if you like PvP. But I would be fine with them focusing on Destiny 1 maps going in, because that's a lot of maps. Oh my god, if they had combined arms in Destiny 2 and enhanced, like, vehicles and stuff, like, that was the other thing. Oh. It's just, it would be great. I think that, like, genuinely, if they took Destiny 2 and took certain things that they took away, or is in Destiny 1, and put it in, at least it'd be something. There's nothing bad about that. Granted, some maps will probably not work so well in Destiny 2. Everyone's like, man, Asylum's my favorite map on Venus. Do you really think that map's going to play really good on Destiny 2? You think that Titans with their shoulder charges are bad already? Or dodges and stuff? It would be like... They would... I mean, if they were to bring that map forward, they would have to add another layer to it. Somehow. Like, open up another section. Like, to kind of like when they made the donut map from the... Well, because that map was small, too, in Destiny 2. That they took away, the one with the floating platform and stuff, but it was like a donut circle. I think that map originally didn't have that one area opened, but then they had to open it to fit the fast movement of Destiny 2. Endless Horde mode Gambit reminds me of COD Zombies. Well, I was just saying, even just like in Destiny terms, like deep dives or coil. More importantly, coil. Donut map? I don't know. The one that was the Red War campaign-esque kind of map where it was like it was on a Cabal ship that was flying. It's like a donut. Literally, if you saw the sky map overhead of it, it was a donut. It was a donut. Well, this is a totally reasonable conversation about the game. Not used to this. Are you being sarcastic? It was okay. Retribution. Yeah, that one. But yeah, like I know that some of these things might be like unbalanced, like combine arms into Destiny 2 with vehicles. But I don't care. And if they're so worried of like vehicles not being good enough in the Destiny 2 environment, make them better. I don't know. Like, they made Halo. Give us tanks. Like, give us a helicopter, a plane thing, whatever. I don't care. On big maps. I just want fun. Skeleton keys? Yeah, don't even get me started about skeleton keys. That's a conversation in itself. The point is, because we've been talking about this for a while, is whenever I criticize Destiny, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not hating the game just to hate it. I am criticizing the game because I know they can get better. That is the fundamental thing that I think that everyone should listen to and remember. Maybe 2 people actually listen to that, and then we'll still get like comments where people are like, Chibi is just hating on the game and that's it. Like, heaven forbid. Heaven forbid I would like some extra content. No, you can't expect more out of the Bungie when they want more money and come on. That's it. We need, you know what we need? I think it's time. They need to add Minecraft to Destiny.